Welcome. What's up, man?
What's up?
All right, should we do the intro? This is Milkshake Funeral. It's been a bit of a hiatus. Yes, Milkshake Funeral, Dirty Pop. God, I'm loud. Dirty Pop, episode 13.
Man, I did Dirty Pop. But...
No, you did. Yeah, I missed it. Yeah, so we're just doing tonight a quick reaction to Wandavision.
Wandavision. They don't do that. I feel like in my head they do that, but they don't do
that. Okay. Yeah, the first 3 episodes. Well, and we're testing out some new equipment here, so we're just having a look. Okay. Looks like everything's working all right. That's good. It's good. So the first 3 episodes. Do we just want to let's just start by talking about? I don't want to make this sound like a critique sandwich, like I'm shitting on this thing out of the gate, because that's not going to be my intent at all. Let's just what do we like about it aside from the updated Marvel MCU intro, which is just amazing.
That's probably my favorite part of every episode. No. I mean, honestly, no. I think everybody gets a little excited when you see the clips of.
Okay.
Do you want to do like a quick overview of where we're at?
Yeah. Do you feel equipped to do that?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So, previously on WandaVision, we meet them as they are honeymooning into Westview. Clearly set in as a lot of people online have pointed out, a Dick Van Dyke era TV show situation.
Probably the 50s, right?
Yeah, like late 50s, I guess like mid to late 50s, early 60s. I think Dick Van Dyke show actually came out in the early 60s. I'm not sure, but it feels like it's meant to be like 50s and then they transition like a decade at a time. Yeah, and clearly like there's no setup. You're dropped in with them. We know as little about what their reality as they do. Clearly, it's not normal reality. Aside from the mechanics of the storylines, essentially you've got people seem to be in this idyllic town. WandaVision get up to hijinks. They are kind of getting further into their relationship, and like they've gone straight to kind of marital domestic bliss. Wanda seems to be wildly more powerful than we previously saw her in Avengers, because she is just changing reality on a whim, and it plays into the comedy and silly nature of these like sitcoms. But it's very kind of shocking if you think about the fact that we're still in the world of the MCU, but not normal reality. And she is just kind of manifesting things, and really So the first 2 episodes are kind of pretty silly, I would say. There's some interesting stuff with the community, and they seem to be partially aware that they seem to be kind of there against their will, I would say, because there's like this very hidden animus that tries to break through every now and then.
There's a Truman Show vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a Truman Show vibe, and all these people clearly are not in this at like the same level. Like they're not all in the same movie.
Yeah. And there's this neighbor, Agnes, who's clearly much more so tone everyone else. And Catherine Hahn. Is that her name? Is that her name, Catherine Hahn? I don't think that's right.
I think so. Yeah, she's
just phenomenal. She's probably my favorite part of the show so far, even though she wasn't in episode 3 very much. But the way she's hamming it up and like going so over the top is pretty delightful.
So, let me make a note of her real quick. Let's just skip right through. The first one's like the 50s. The second one is like the 60s. What's that?
It's like Bewitched, basically. It's kind of like MCU Bewitched. So they go from like Dick Van Dyke to Bewitched, and then episode 3 is Brady Bunch. Episode 3 is where things really get crazy. Sorry, well, you wanted to kind of jump in.
No, that's good. That's good. I just want to give a little setup. So like this. All right, so this is going to be a problem. I don't remember. Is the talent show? 2. That's episode 2.
Yeah.
Right. Yikes. The talent show was hilarious. So let's talk about, in my opinion, the best real quick. We'll just hit the best things. If you're not watching it, we should have said spoilers. We're gonna talk about it as if you've seen it. Let me hit a few of the things that I enjoy. Catherine Hahn is amazing, and it's a shame she is not a headline A-list movie star. I hope, and I don't think this is a legitimate hope, because this is supporting role on WandaVision on Disney Plus. I hope they could turn her into like a big villain or something like that, and she makes the leap to the movies, because this show feels different every time she gets on screen.
Yeah.
Because she's so overdoing it, and she just for some of the other actors, it made it great because she completely sucks all the oxygen right out of the room.
Well, it's funny. She brings a lot of energy, but she also brings dread. There's some dread when she's around.
Oh, good at that. Like you're like, yeah, you're funny, but something's fucked up.
Yeah, weird. Like the postman or the mailman scene, that was really bizarre.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Don't shoot, I'm just a messenger," but it's like a nervous chuckle he makes. And then she like eyeballs it real funny when he walks off.
Yeah. And her
Ralph.
Ralph. And her jokes, it's funny. Like, to me, her jokes. So we'll just blend the positive. There's a reason. What's that?
They're laced with a sharp edge.
They are. Like, I enjoy her jokes.
Yeah, and there's like a mysterious husband, Ralph.
Yeah. Have we seen him?
No. The
The
most fun part I've seen is that people reference like she mentions June 2nd's their anniversary, and I think people online, the big thing is people are like, "Oh, that's the date of the Salem witch trials." So
yeah.
So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So all right. That's one fun thing is her. And don't get me wrong, like, Wanda and Vision, the actors. Gosh, it's been a long day. It's been a bit of a day. Actors' names better than I do at this point.
Wilson and Paul Bettany.
Thank you. Jeez Louise. They're committed. They're all in on this. So much respect.
I'm quite certain they're having more fun than they've ever had.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. That's great. The magic show was the best scene that I think they've had, and I don't think it's even close. Everything from the animation to the gum, like literally gumming up his gears, and it makes him insane, and he's saying crazy things.
Kind of, yeah, he's kind of drunk.
Yeah, he was drunk, and then her having to cover for him by him just completely displaying his powers. She uses her powers to hide that they have powers, so that's a lot of fun, and that was really well done. That was really well done. I think the first, and this was a concern. I thought the first episode was just such a throwaway episode.
Yeah, we didn't really get much. I mean, you just didn't hijinks, and not even like hijinks in the second, the second and third, where you get glimpses into something very bad is happening.
Yeah.
And the first one is just more like, hey, look, we're playing with genre, and we're leaning really heavily into that.
Yeah. Yeah. So like.
It's really more like the first episode was more of almost like, I would say, a trailer to the second episode.
Yeah. So it's had a few good scenes. The acting's superb. The production quality for what they want. Because, you're talking like unique intros to every episode. Everything is, you feel like everything is purposely and intentionally done, from the set to every word that's spoken, to every glance that's given. You feel like that. And sometimes that's a bad thing, because there's sometimes I'm watching this, I'm like, were there 30 Easter eggs in that last 30 seconds that I was supposed to pick up on? Because
probably.
And this is where, to me, the theme so far for the first 3 episodes is the structure is the strength. The structure of the show is both its strength and its weakness.
It's an astute observation.
Thank you. It's a tautology. No, I don't even know what a tautology is. It's just one of the best quotes from Zero Dark 30. But this is not – it's funny. There's another podcast you and I listen to, and there's someone that remarks about someone who doesn't really get into MCU stuff, but the person just is really all into this. That kind of –
The Watch, Ringer Network, shout out.
Yeah, if you would have told me that before I watched it,
I'm trying to avoid that. Sorry.
What's that? That's okay. No, they do a great job. Why
are you hiding from it? They're great.
Yeah, I just need to own it, right? Just like
Shill.
Just like Olsen. Sure, yeah, Ringer. We'll work for free. But Yeah, so like the structure is the strength and the weakness. But if you had told me someone who doesn't like MCU, if you had told me before I started watching it, I would have thought, okay, because they're really going to go for the sitcom stuff. What I just didn't realize, and I don't know how much you did. I should remember we lived in the same house. I watched a lot of Nick at Night growing up. Like a lot of Nick at Night. So I've seen a lot of these.
I watched Witch. Even though I was very young, the only one I didn't watch was, I guess, Dick Van Dyke. I don't think I ever saw any of that.
I didn't see that one either. But all the rest, I'm really hoping waiting for them to get to the Three's Company stage. I hope they get there because, I watched every one of those. I
feel like the Brady Bunch was the substitute for I think they're going to go to Full House next. But.
Yeah. So, if you told me before, I'd have thought, yeah, but after, I guess if you really are still really into the Nick at Night shows, which I had, like a lot of folks, I had to swear off laugh tracks years ago. I can't even watch a show anymore with it. And I get, here's the hard part about critiquing this show. They can literally say to every critique, yeah, that's part of what we're doing. Yeah, we're in on it too. That's what you're saying isn't a critique. It just means you're getting what we're intentionally doing, which is hamming it up, having a laugh track. And to that, I guess I would say I'm bored to tears. I think what you have is, so far, 3 episodes of extremely well-done homages to classic sitcoms, and about 5 good minutes of television.
Yeah.
All the zaniness and the wackiness. Let's take episode 3 like we just watched.
Real quick, I just want to say, I know my video looks like crap. It's my cheap webcam. Doing an autofocus thing, and it's screwed up. So
our 3 viewers are going to be pissed.
Just awareness, just presenting the problem.
Watching the stork almost fight Geraldine was probably the most compelled I've felt to be glued.
I'll be honest though. I really enjoyed this episode. I know that I wasn't satisfied with where we're at for MCU content, but I did quite enjoy. Because I feel like Wanda's reality warping is starting to get I think you're starting to see it get a little out of control, and there were a few really bizarre. Besides the crazy stuff where she's just manifesting baby room stuff, just out of nowhere. There's just creative gifts, and the little dawdle thing that spins with butterflies just turn into real butterflies, and when she envisioned her having a conversation, he seems to be the one who's realizing that there's a problem, and I think she reset their conversation before he brought up the fact that there's a problem.
Oh, that was such a cool scene. I think there's something wrong here, and it's like a skip, there's something wrong in the tape.
Yeah,
it goes back 6 or 7 seconds.
And then to the stork, it was funny and there was a lot of tension, but then there's the other layer of she was trying to remove it from reality and she couldn't for some reason. So
yeah,
that seemed really interesting. And besides it just being hilarious and fun to watch the thing almost get noticed by Geraldine, but yeah, and then the kids. We didn't even talk about the fact in episode 2 she just manifests pregnancy.
I'm so glad that was all right. So I have a short attention span. That is well known. But if it's a good story, I don't need an action film at all. We just watched the Trial of the Chicago 7. If you can have my attention if it's a well done story.
Bavarian.
What's that?
Bavarian.
Yeah. Well, it's just I feel bored. I was so glad they did that. They did the birth of those 2 kids in one episode.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, please don't stretch this out.
Yeah.
Of course they didn't. So, and the other thing, we finally, so a lot of folks that haven't read the comic books, usually when she does this, creates her own reality, usually after she's been beset by some kind of tragedy or personal horror, it does not end well, and it doesn't just not end well for her, but it doesn't end well for a lot of other people.
For anyone on Earth.
For anyone. Sometimes almost every mutant in existence.
Yeah. All but the ones that get published that sell books.
That's right.
Wolverine was safe. Wolverine was always going.
Oh yeah, Wolverine. Mars like, no, he's not going anywhere. He's literally in every comic book, and he's probably a member of both the Avengers and the Lesser West Coast.
You saw running around the mansion. Yeah, they're gone now. There's 5 of them.
Yeah. So like, what I think was interesting tonight, and this is where they're brilliant. They are brilliant at plot. Avengers Endgame timeline things aside. I think they knew by the end of this 3rd episode we're going to have to pump it up because so at the end of this you get her very obviously she's not well.
Yeah, right. You see, like her reaction to Geraldine bringing up real history was.
I don't think Geraldine. Now,
Monica Rambeau. I mean, I guess I don't think that's like a. I mean, that's kind of like.
No, she's the daughter of the pilot friend of Brie Larson in Captain Marvel, right?
We saw her as a little girl in the '90s, and she's grown up now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's with Sword, the agency. We haven't really met, but like they've been in the trailers. You've seen the people in suits and like.
That's what the symbols are, but they're.
Yeah.
That's
what her necklace was.
So are they good or bad?
They're good. They're basically, at the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming or Far From Home, you see Nick Fury on a base, and he's ordering around a bunch of Skrull. That everyone they haven't confirmed that yet, but everyone's pretty much like that's Sword. Like he has clearly been working with them since the '90s and started Sword.
They're the Shield replacement.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need agents running around the MCU, so we got Sword now.
Well, what you finally get is some real danger at the end of this. And you do get to see she's not. I don't think she's going to be the protagonist.
I'm so glad, bro. I wanted to talk about that. I think it's clear she is the antagonist, and it's very. I was really skeptical because, like, what part of because Feige said it, she's going to play a part in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, and probably a significant part. And I've been trying because people have been. There's been a lot of theories. It's like, how is she gonna like create this? Maybe contribute to the situation. I can absolutely feel like I see already the groundwork for her just shattering reality. Probably.
Yeah. Because you get the vibe that Geraldine is kind of playing that role. Who is that actress from Truman Show that infiltrates his world?
Oh,
and is trying to get him out. Like she is that character.
Tasha McElhaney.
What is her name? She's in Solaris. She's in.
I think I'm pretty close.
You told me she's Halsey in the new.
Yeah, she's Dr. Halsey and Cortana in the new.
In the new series.
I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but it's something like that. I'm butchering the pronunciation, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's Oh well. I mean, come on, Wikipedia. All we're going to talk about is George Clooney. That's no good. But
new Halo show. I mean, she's coming up.
Well, so anyway, you get that. You get that at the end. There's that, and then there's.
Well, she gets burst through. I love the cool like TV screen kind of portal that she comes through too. It's pretty neat.
Yes, and then you get also the Twilight Zone kid. The Twilight Zone kid episode, which Amazing Stories did it when they did that movie in the '80s. Where there's that kid that everybody's terrified of because if you don't do what he says, he can he can turn you into a butterfly and stomp you out or something. Like the kid's like, oh, we do whatever he says. So to me that's like what I'm getting is like Truman Show meets Twilight Zone, insane, kid kind of vibes.
You kind of turned dark. Like it got real.
Yeah,
real fast.
Well, yeah, when she was like, "Yeah, your brother was killed by Ultron," and it was like, that brings me to another thing. I have read somewhere that they didn't intend for this to be the first MCU TV series. That this was not supposed to launch first. And you said,
I think it was probably. I think it was initially Falcon Winter Soldier was going to precede this.
Well, and that would make, in which, by the way, we'll probably do a podcast for every episode of of that, maybe. And it's
And I
not.
think
I kind of thought we might do that a little for this. There's just not enough. There's just not enough going on.
And it's supposed to be 10 or 6 1 hour versus 10 30-minute episodes.
Oh, the Winter Soldier. The
I think Feige confirmed that.
Yeah. Okay. Because this whole thing has started kind of awkwardly. Like, it's weird to go from Endgame and that final 15 minutes, and I know this is how it was supposed to be. We were supposed to get Black Widow, but I don't know that would have served as any kind of
second. Touch on any of this, and the only thing I would say to your point is I'm not sure they would have set us up for what we're getting into now.
No,
because we went from Wanda seeming at peace with Hawkeye by a lake last time we saw her.
Yeah.
Like accepting that Vision was gone and just kind of like, all right, got to move on. And we're here now. So, yeah.
Have you laughed out loud at any of the jokes?
I mean, I chuckled in episode 3 at just how wild things were. I mean, it just starts it's literally raining inside of a house. And I mean, it was just so preposterous that I did chuckle a little bit.
There has been that element. It felt like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse.
I mean, the house is like shaking, and the electricity, the appliances are going nuts. It's like Poltergeist or something. I mean, yeah.
And the dinner scene in episode 1 was cool. So here's my problem with I feel like I enjoy my recollection of scenes more than I enjoy it while I'm watching it. Because there's times when I watch it, I'm just like, huh. And
it's entertaining. Like, that's the thing. Like, they're entertaining episodes. It's just not what we want. Like, that's the thing.
And I'm not saying like I'm not sure. I don't say you are either. I'm not saying I need her in her Marvel Scarlet Witch, right? Jeez Louise.
No, yeah.
Throwing red energy balls. Like, I don't need that. I guess.
I just want some. I want story. I
do too. I need some things. Yeah, and I guess
they're avoiding it.
I guess they might say, well, they just had 2 twins, but like.
And that's why I probably like this episode the best. I feel like this was the first one that really
moved the football,
hit the gas pedal. Like, you see what the story is now, and we're getting into it. And
the first 2 episodes were really like 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and this was at least, well, this wasn't air raid, but at least it was I formation pro offense.
You went from being pregnant to having kids in 30 minutes. So
yeah. And I love the stork.
And like, I mean, everyone pretty much knew again, but like confirmed billion times. Like, there's your Wiccan and Screed in the comic book. So like, it was pretty significant doing that.
Yeah. Well, so we're 90 minutes in. So I'm really curious.
Take your time. Get right. Yeah.
You gotta get right.
I didn't even notice the shirt, by the way.
Oh, right? Yeah, man. You got go. We're 90 minutes in. And I know we don't forget network television. But I do think a lot of shows now, you can call it prestige television, you can call it whatever you want. I don't care if it's Devs on Hulu, which is an amazing TV show, or Ozark, or even a weird show like Servant that I just started watching on Apple Plus that I cannot stop watching. I'm still not sure. I've watched the whole first season. I'm still not sure I know what's going on. After you're in 90 minutes, unless it's just network garbage, there should be a flavor, like there should be some things have happened. And so I guess I'm very relieved that we ended with things are very much not right. What I don't hope happens, I don't want to keep watching 23 minutes of sitcom homages as wild as they may be made by her powers, and 10 more I'm a robot puns from Vision, and then 4 to 5 minutes of plot advancement. Because it's not like we're developing characters either. I mean, I've also on the Ringer. This is where I would disagree. They talk about these characters because they talk about, well, these characters are finally getting the room to stretch their arms and grow, and like I don't get that at all.
I would say it's just a significant departure from anything we've seen of them.
Yeah.
So
I don't feel like Vision's any more developed now than he was right up to the point where Thanos ripped that stone out of his head.
I think the actors are getting to stretch their arms.
Yeah.
I don't think the characters are.
They are getting more room to be Vision and Scarlet. Well, kind of.
I think we're seeing with Scarlet Witch. Like we finally see like something.
Going on. And we're 3 episodes in. I guess
everybody's 3 episodes. Everyone's 3 episodes in at this point. So I think any take you're like, there's a distinction, like you said, between the actors, what they're probably enjoying about this versus the character development.
Yeah, I'm sure they're having a blast, and it is fun. It is fun. And again, my issue is not that I'm not getting superhero battles like at all. I mean, I think what's one of your favorite shows, In Treatment. I think a amazing pitch for a TV show would be seeing these characters in therapy, and like a real therapy with a real therapist, not like some bad things happen, so you got to pick it. I mean, yeah, I love it, but. Like In Treatment, but in the MCU. So I don't need action sequences, but like I'm getting.
That's how you introduce.
I'm just bored a lot more than I hope to be, and have ever been by a MCU product typically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I get it. I think you've made. I think you're just trying to make sure people understand it's not like you need boom, Hulk smash and. Yeah, I mean, there's some of the best stuff I've watched. It's not, like you said. I mean, I always forget how much I love that, and I bring it up to you every now and then. But that's a great example. There's a movie, I think it was HBO, Sunset Limited. It's a play, and then Samuel L. Jackson and Tommy Lee Jones did that, and it was just. I loved it. It was incredible. Yeah. I love that kind. I mean, that's usually one of my favorite things. When you just get 2 solid actors just. One-on-one dialogue, intense dialogue.
Yeah.
And I hope we get some. I mean, this feels like this show is actually set up to give us. They have an opportunity, I feel like, to give us some of that, depending on maybe who the villain is, or maybe it's Wanda. I don't know. It might be, I don't know. I just hope they give us some of some more, because the moment when she turns and becomes like kind of dark and is clearly going to either destroy and she ended up luckily sending Geraldine away. That was probably the most compelling part of the episode. I mean, and not for nothing, it connected back to the MCU that we know. Yeah. I think that's again another point of
right.
We need to feel they brag so much about their connective tissue is what makes the MCU what it is. So it's like, all right, well then connect the tissue.
I'm so on the fence on it. It's just so interesting because I could simultaneously say you're doing. I'm just at a total impasse with myself on this. Because, there's part of it's like you're spending too much time trying to be like one of those comedies. Pick whatever genre it is. You're spending too much time doing that, and not enough time injecting Wanda and Vision and their unique abilities. But then I can go back and be like, well, you had the cooking scene, and to me that's a problem. Is that I know they are doing it. She's doing crazy stuff with her powers. He's doing most of his stuff is just speed related stuff, which is fine, I guess. And occasionally he levitates, but so I know in my brain that they are balancing it, but. As far as an emotional reaction, it doesn't feel that way. It's so strange. I don't know how to really verbalize it. I'm going to keep watching it, obviously. Were you going to say something?
No. I'm enjoying it, but I think for me, it's having. They are using genre to try to play with their powers, but I think it's not for me ringing the way that they want it to. It's ringing more of oh yeah, Bewitched, she'd go bing, and then they do the little awkward cut to when they're filming it, and something appears, and they're doing that, but it's because she's doing it, but that's so meta, kind of that I think it gets a little bit lost.
Yeah, I do too.
That's what's happening,
Yeah.
They're not calling it out enough. They need something to acknowledge.
It's just so obvious. I guess maybe that's it. It's just so. I got it. You're doing sitcoms, and they got their powers. Yes, it's not on the. It may be the nose. That might be it. That might be. I am not compelled, or am just so rarely compelled or intrigued by anything I'm seeing. I'm just not. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know what you're gonna do. Oh, hijinks. Things are levitating. Oh, he moved fast. Oh, robot pun. Got it. And I guess that's it. I'm just bored. And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are going to love it. If you love classic sitcoms and the MCU, man, this is going to be your jam, and you should definitely enjoy it. And maybe that they would have been better served releasing the whole season at once. I would have burned right through it.
Getting through these first 3 at once at least would have made a difference.
Like there's and I hate to keep coming back to it, and everybody in podcasting, I guess, does it. A show like Ozark, they almost should probably not release it all at once because its endings are so addictive, but it is such like fine wine. You probably shouldn't like chug that thing, which is what I will do when the next group of episodes come out. But something like this, and so again, this show Servant, it's because Servant is about the same amount of time. There's weird stuff going on, and you want to go, go, go. And I think if something like Servant, if I was being made to wait, it would flutter away to the back of my mind a little. I might be like, I'll catch it. I'll catch it once 3 or 4 out. Because that's really, if not for the damn internet and Twitter, and YouTubers, I guess I shouldn't criticize YouTubers. I would not watch all of this at once. After the first episode, or maybe I would be like, you know what? I'm going to let this finish, then I'll come back. And I think I would enjoy it more because it is such a slow burn.
Yeah. No, that's it. There's really nothing. I don't want to. You pretty much nailed it in terms of that stuff. I mean,
you pretty much started talking and wouldn't shut up. So
the one thing I was going to say is I wish, like, for an example, I actually would. I mean, I do enjoy it, so I take a lot of positive. And I think my initial reaction was I really liked the episode 3. I wish they would lean. I mean, okay, you used to ask for a laugh out loud. I laughed out loud when the neighbor, I can't remember his name, was trimming through the concrete blocks. That was amazing. Well, that made me think of the Rick and Morty episode where Rick is in a simulation and then Jerry gets in there by accident and they turn his like CPU down and people are just like teleporting and glitching across through trees and stuff. I wish they would lean more because I feel like that's part of what's happening is I feel like there are people, these are real people I think that are trapped in this simulated screwed up reality that I think Wanda is mostly controlling.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that clash of them resisting, and they're like, it's like the Matrix, like their mind, does it want to accept the reality that's presented to them or not? Yeah. And I want much more of that. I think they could have, if you're going to do so much playing with genre, I think that should have been a huge component of these first 3 episodes of seeing you got a little bit. I can't remember the Dottie. Is it the Queen Bee? Can't remember her name. Anya from Buffy.
Anya from Buffy. Oh my gosh, I was so happy to see her.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody call that one out yet, so I think it's kind of sad because she had a very unceremonious ending in the series.
Well, her being on Marvel is as close as I ever want Joss Whedon near the MCU ever again. Yeah, keep going.
But yeah, like you had that moment where there was some serious, there was some negativity between how she felt about Wanda, and we didn't get much of that, but it led to her, cutting her hand, and you get and then like you kind of that broke the break of reality, kind of to word that very poorly. But what was his name? Bud? I can't remember what they called. I can't remember the neighbor's name. I hate that. Anyway, he's just going to town through that concrete, and that was amazing.
Well, as Vision walks out, what's going on? Hey, no, man! Quick cut. That was hilarious.
I laughed. Like that. Just weird. He's just holding it up like Clark Griswold with a chainsaw. So yeah, like there was some really good stuff in this one, and I thought this was the most. They gave us the most content of everything that I wanted in this episode. So it was good.
we see her tweak reality a lot. Sounds like what you'd like to see is reality breaking a little bit more.
Yeah, because we saw it. Like when I think that was her, like resetting reality when Vision was saying, like, Wanda, there's a problem here, and then boom.
Oh yeah.
Like I think that was her. I think clearly the neighbors are like the guy was like, it's like we were flying. Like, no, you're riding on a cyborg's back while he's eating, and it was just, and so I would like more of that. I don't know, but I think that's a component that probably should have been present. That would have made this kind of genre playfulness much kind of richer.
I'm in such a conundrum because literally every criticism I think of, then I think of a counter. Like, not much is happening. Well, she just had twins. I'm like, well, damn. So like that's my problem.
How?
Right?
How did that happen?
And that episode 2, which the more I think about it, the more I like that scene where Anya, what is her name in the show?
Dottie
maybe the
Queen Bee. Sorry, Queen Bee.
Queen Bee. That's a great scene, and I think is that the first time she meets Geraldine, maybe.
Yeah, when they're all in the
circle.
Yeah,
that's a really good scene.
He's talking to her, and then Queen Bee's like,
yeah. I don't know, and I'm not trying to be like overly nice and like kid gloves with this. I don't understand necessarily. I hate to be like a 12-year-old and just keep saying I'm bored, but I think that's it. It is meeting the exact expectations that I had for it.
Well, that's a good example. That was a scene that went way too long. Way too long.
I'll give you a thing. When she was trying to hide her pregnancy, like I felt like that went on about 60 seconds too long. The coach.
I don't understand why she was hiding it. I didn't understand why.
What's that?
Why was she hiding it?
Well, because she's come nearly to term in a day, and she you would have. There's the presupposition that she knows Geraldine, and that would be something you'd want to hide from your neighbor that you've nearly come to term in a day, because that's wild. So she was trying to hide it from her, just.
Well, they didn't want they didn't want the neighborhood to. They told the doctor to keep it quiet.
Exactly.
But I don't understand, because I know that on the surface, like, they're in this reality, but they've displayed that, at least on I would even say more than subconscious level, she is actively controlling it. So I'm very confused about that, and maybe we'll get there. Maybe they'll explain, but like her reluctance for the people to know just seems to really conflict with the fact that she just changes things willy-nilly. And so, I don't really get it.
Yeah, I've got big expectations for the 4th episode.
I wouldn't. I think 5 is when your expectations will be.
Because I was about to say, if I don't get
I'm pretty sure
we don't get to the red zone a little bit on 4, I would prefer, if not for the damn spoilers, to stop and come back once the whole runs come out. But I don't know. It's fine. I guess that's it. It's fine.
I anticipate episode 4 will be the last of the full lean into comedy genre, and you're going to get Full House.
Well, we're going to get the 70s in the next. Well, we
basically Brady Bunch 70s. Episode 3. We've gone basically 50s, 60s, 70s. I think you're going to get more of a melding of like 80s. Maybe I'm wrong. Some people are saying you're going to get, like Family Ties maybe, and then Full House or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's. That's hard to think about getting 2 more of these. I really hope not. I don't mind if they continue to do like television as a structure, but like you gotta start breaking it more. Like we need to see more of Sword. We got to figure out what's going on. How are they aware of it? How did this start?
It's extremely clean and safe right now. And again, so I think that, and this is back to my whole thesis on this. The structure is the strength and the weakness. If you do 20-something minutes of ha-ha sitcom throwback, it does make that few minutes of something's awfully wrong here just pop, amazingly in your face, and you feel it. And it's just, so I get it, But damn, I don't know if I need. I don't need as much sitcom homage as I'm getting, or they're gonna have to do a little bit better of a job for me. Like when all those paintings were spinning, to me it was. I felt one way when I watched the Magic Show, which was okay. This is clever. Mm-hmm. This is really clever. I would even rewatch that scene, as opposed to when she's going into labor and the vacuum cleaner's going and the painting's spinning. I'm like, this is stupid. Honestly, that's how I felt. This is silly. This is Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse.
Because you had another person there and she noticed it. I thought that was good. I actually did like that. You had Geraldine take notice. She's like, I'm assuming there's an explanation for this.
Yeah.
I liked it only because of that.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe that's why she broke a little bit. Maybe that's what brought her out to mention Ultron.
She's such a conundrum. I never want to knock people for trying something new, but then I counter that and go, are they really trying something new? Like most of it's
more of the motivation. I guess I feel like it's fine to try it new, but why? I guess why are we doing it?
I think, and they've earned this. They have earned my patience. And I'm probably trying to make too much of a determination with too little of the tape. I'm going to reserve. My judgments will be much more concrete after 5. But then again, we're 150 minutes in, and boy, I've given you a long leash. So let me ask you this. Well, you can't even ask. Can you even ask if this wasn't MCU, would you keep watching it? But you can't separate it. That's silly. So forget that. Don't answer it. That's a stupid question.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
No, I do. I like it. I think like everybody, selfishly, I want more content. I think these being 30-minute episodes makes it even harder to wait when we're getting, because I actually anticipate that I'm going to really, really love it by the end. I think they're going to take the story in a pretty wild place.
Oh, they're gonna spike the football.
It's going to get nuts. Things are going to get weird, and it's going to be pretty awesome. So,
and it will probably feel even more awesome for us having to have earned it, I guess. But it's just tough. I watch a lot of shows where they, For All Mankind, a show you just put me on to. It's a drama. That's not a sci-fi show in any shape, form, or fashion. It's a drama.
Everything that's dealing with space in it is very much based in reality. So, yeah.
You take a show like Vikings that's been going forever, that most weeks is not a big, giant battle. It is a drama. There's a lot of dudes that wouldn't want to admit it, but it is. But they just keep me engaged, and those are hour-long shows. So that's it. I don't know. Let's wait. I'm going to wait until I get through 5. I never want to knock people who are trying to innovate and try something new. So good, but
I just think that I think 3 was good. I understand now. I totally understand why the screeners they sent to people were the first 3 episodes. They didn't do the first 2. They only released the first 2 for everybody. But the screeners were 3.
Yeah,
and that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Listen, I'm not getting my hopes up too much for the next few weeks. And then I think it's going to rock after that. So.
Yeah. Well, it just, like I said, man, I don't need tons of CGI. I don't need things exploding. I just need to be intrigued. And the rinse repeat of sitcom with their powers, I'm good now. I've got it. We've done 90 minutes of it. Let's see what's next. So, anyway, all right, cool. Well, we'll jump back in after a few episodes, and then what else were we going to talk about soon? There was some other TV show, but anyway, we'll get back to it. Well, cool.
It's been good, so stay tuned.
Right. Later.